All right, Shalom. It's the second part. Hopefully, it's edifying. I looked up that word between in the etymology, and it says in the space which separates midway, which separates midway in the midst among by turns, to each. Uh, Between is literally applicable only to two objects, but it may become is more than so. In the space which separates. Now, um, I told you that you know the knowledge of the men of full age, they discern of strong meat belonging to them are full of age, full age, like you, even those that by reason of use their like full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. Now, Eve, I won't say she was. I won't say. I think I've said it before, but I won't say it that she seduced Adam. She was, they received their curses, and one of her curses was, her curse was, multiply thy sorrow and thy bringing forth children, and you shall be he desired her husband, he shall rule over thee. And like I said before, that rulership was a common bond of, because even Adam said, "This is the bone of my bone, the flesh of my flesh." They were one, and it still says that, and it reiterates that in the New Testament, that when you get with a woman, y'all one flesh. But now the Most High cursed Eve to where now it doesn't. It's a separation to where she can't. She's going to desire to position of her husband to be on this level, like they want to be equal to us now. But he shall rule over thee. So now it's now they understand in their mind. She understands that he's ruling over me. And if you continue to roll with the devil, it's going to become more harmful and hurtful and tragic, because now you're saying it's gonna hurt, because you like, man, I can't ever be on a man's level. I can never, and that's why they cry out like that today. That you were not supposed to. It wasn't, um, like even in the '60s, and women used to cook for their husband, which didn't. It wasn't a burden. They loved to cook for their husband. Now it's a burden, because they're chasing that to be equal to the man. You know, they say they don't want to cook. Our women are still going to be cooking in the kingdom. You know, our women are still going to be under us, but but the nations are going to be under them. And so because who cooks better than our women, man? And who treats us, especially in a right mind, who treats us better than our women? Who we make love to better than our women compared to these other nations? But we still going to have concubines. It says Romans 12:21, be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. So it said be not overcome, because you're going to see evil. You're going to witness evil, and you're going to know evil. But it says overcome evil with good, and be not overcome with evil. So, when you have your senses exercised with discernment to discern good from evil, in the Holy Spirit, you're not going to be affected so much by, you're not going to be overtaken by evil, but you might feel the effects of evil and around, because we're in hell, we're in captivity. So you're gonna feel it, you're gonna see it, but you still can overcome it, and that's what this battle is. It says Isaiah 5:20, woe, destruction to him that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. They don't go together. Sweet is different from bitter. You know, that's why it was said, "Sweet in my mouth, but bitter in my belly." Two different things. Eating of that same book, though, but it's some bitter things. It's Most High said. He said two things against the other. Paraphrasing that, there's life and there's death. There's good and there's evil. There's sweet and there's bitter. And it's all in this book, but you got to discern, how to deal with these physical matters in the spiritual mind, according to this word. And that's why the Most High gave us this word as a manual to, to discern things. Even Solomon said that. I know the good beast, and I know the beast that the fierce beast. I know the certain plants that are poison, certain, whatever. Then you start to understand, that even our captivity wasn't made for our destruction, but it was the taste of the bitterness of what you can experience when you disobey the Most High. It was just a taste. It's such thing as a taste of death. Not eating of death, but the taste of death, a flavor of what happens, on the earth, But are we supposed to die? Nah, we're supposed to live forever. If spirits go on, they do. But there's a judgment according what you do in the body, what you eat of. Because you could, let's say, let you wine tasting, and then after all the wine, what do you go for wine tasting for? Because you want to pick the best wine that tastes right. But all tastes are not the same, and some things that taste good for you is not, that tastes good to you is not good for you. So if you taste of all these things that the Most High is against, and you like it, well, it's not. You personally like it to your taste, but it's not good for you. You will destroy yourself. That's why it talks about lust, going back to Eve. All the lust thereof, King James Version. Well, let me go to 1 John 2:16. For all the lust in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And what did the serpent come with Eve with? Wiser. It'll make you wise. You discern good and evil. I mean, not he didn't say discern slacker. He didn't say discern good and evil. Know good and evil. But what was in her mind mostly? The God part. Like, and you will be as gods. God mean power. You're going to be powerful. And that's what they exercise themselves with today. And they exercise themselves through this education system, philosophies, even when they get up in Congress and political seat, just like this Kamala Harris and shit. She's still a woman, whatever. She might be from, not our nation. I haven't, that's not being confirmed. I haven't looked into that. Some brothers say that she's a, go back to Elam, or I think, and then some say that she might be a Benjamite or whatever, or her father might be a Benjamite, whatever the case. She's still a woman, me see. Be as God's King James Version. Going back to that. And the Yahawashi said that, Psalms 82 and 6. He said, I've said, ye are gods, all of you children of the Most High. But there's an exorcism. There's a way to do it. There's a way, what did it say, the natural, then the spirit. Natural come first, then the spirit. It's things that you got to learn in this earth, things that you got to learn about the whole structure of the Most High's blueprint. And then, even where you are in this picture, in this frame, in this world that the Most High created in the spirits that be, and being born on earth, and how you deal with things, grow up in what you see. So you can't be too hasty in that part to be like, yeah, I got it, Most High, I understand. No, you don't. You really don't understand. You have to really diligently dip yourself into the bitter of things and the hell of things sometimes, to really know the thing about the heavenly things and the things of the sweet things. I mean, the more bitter some taste, when you do taste the sweet things like honey, you could really taste the honey now. If you've been eating honey all your life, you don't really know how good the honey is. Hopefully that was, understood. But so that's why we had to learn the evil. That's why the Most High, that's why we fell into the rabbit hole, so to speak, to learn these things. This is a training, you know, and we don't have to do too much as far as, gearing for war on a physical level and fight these nations on a physical level. No, we did that already. Now this is a spiritual war, and that's what they don't want with us, because they know now we got the upper hand once again. Because these devils couldn't figure this word out. It was sealed. Now they want to try to break down what Revelation mean, and the beast, and the seven, horns. I mean the seven heads, and the 10 horns. They trying to break that down, but they didn't understand it at first until one West started teaching, and then the growth that came out of that, where now you have apostles, elders, bishops, different officers of men teaching this word. So now the devil is trying to all of a sudden, oh yeah, fix this tie, and saying, this is what it. No, now we could discern evil and good. Now we could discern the taste of of death. And we know, like the example of taste of death, when Yahawashi said, you let the dead bury the dead. And they say, well, how can a dead person bury another dead? Well, dead in your spirit, your mind. Dead to the knowledge and wisdom, dead to the spirit of the Most High. You're dead. It says, he that wenteth out the way of understanding remain in the congregation of the dead. So Adam and Eve, they died when the spirit separated from them. When they were found naked, they was like they were dead. Now, what is it called to come back to that? It said, when it said, unless they eat of the tree of life. So that means that they were on the opposite side of death. They were dead in the spirit. Now they got to eat off the tree of life, which is the discernment of, having the Holy Spirit to discern evil and good. So you could become a real true God. Because there's a lot of gods on earth. There's a lot of gods with power. I mean, that's what power means. There's a lot of people with power on this earth. Philosophical power. Power of education. Power of the political power that people have. Power of office. Power of witchcraft. And then you'd be like, how can where do I fit in? and all this. Well, you really don't, because that's of the world. Most High said He called us out of the world into His marvelous light. Called us out of darkness into His marvelous light. He called us out of the world. So now we dealing with His Spirit and supping with Yahawashi through the Holy Spirit, and He's telling us like, no, that's don't eat of that. No, okay, you can, you know, though it tastes good, it's poisonous. You know, because what it say about even an example, physical example of fentanyl? It said you can't taste it or smell it. So how you know if it's poison or not? You gotta have the knowledge to know and be told by somebody. No, that you know that's poison, right? So that's what the Most High is doing through this word. He's telling us, hey, this is Babylon. Don't partake of her sins. Don't eat off that tree. Don't eat of that fruit. Let me see. I think it talks about fruit of his doings. Let me see. The fruit of his doings, King James Version. Yeah, Jeremiah 17:10, it says, I, the Lord, search the mind and try the heart to give every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his doings. So if you're tasting of things in this world, you'd be like, that's poison. I can't do that. You know, I can't eat of that. I can't eat at your table. It talks about not eating you can't eat at the table of devils and let me see. Not eat of the table of devils, King James Version. 1 Corinthians 10:21, it says, ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of devils. You know? So, you know, um, let's use King David as an example, to where he went off. Solomon went off. But are they still sons of God? And are they going to be in the kingdom? Yeah. Solomon paid for what he did, coming back as Yahawashi, receiving the stripes. He tasted of his, tasted death. You think the Son of God was made on earth to die? He's the Son of God. God, the Most High, doesn't die, and gods are not supposed to die. But when they're in this physical body, you know, and especially it becomes weakened by the elements of them connecting themselves to it. If you do drugs, you're going to become one with the drugs, and you're going to be consumed by it, because you become one. Now, even drugs can be used as a medicine. you know um, Cocaine leaves, but they corrupted, of course. And it says, anything excessively is not is could take you out. It says don't drink excessive wine. It says don't eat too much honey or you vomit it up. It says do not be much over wicked and much over righteous. Even being over righteous can destroy you. That's how you know it's very delicate how you walk with Yahweh Shai, walk in His truth. And we do the best of our ability, of course. Most High can wink at things, but it's a very, very delicate road. It even talks about that in Apocrypha. It's like water on one side and water and fire on the other side. And there's a narrow path where one man at a time could go. You know. It says, see, Yahawashi said talks about the taste of death in Matthew 16:28. But you could be dead while you're alive, and you can eat of death while you're alive, eat of ill philosophies while you're alive. You know. Um, Luke 14:24 says, "For I say unto you that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper," man. You know? Forbidden fruit, King James Version. And even when you go back to Genesis 3:1-7, you know, the serpent asked the woman if God has said you cannot eat from any tree in the garden. The woman replies that they can eat from the trees, but they should not eat or touch the fruit of the tree. They go to the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden. The serpent tells the woman she will not surely die if she eats the fruit, and that she will be as good as God and knowing good and evil. I'm reading from another source, but basically it says the same thing in the scriptures. But I thought it was one that says that word. Or forbidden. So I mean, that same thing as forbidden when you're not supposed to. Forbidden definition.
Here's the definition.
Not allowed, banned.
Not allowed, banned.
You know, unlawful. So you could kind of use those words when the Most High said not to eat of that tree, because it's forbidden. It's unlawful. It's 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 unauthorized by the Most High to, because He said you can eat of every tree of the garden, and not eat it. So, it's a lot of things like teenager children play in a garden. There's a lot of things they can eat, a lot of things they can do. The dietary laws. It's a lot of things we can't eat. It tells you, and then there's a lot of it's things that we can't eat. That's unlawful. So it ain't like we just stuck out and just like, damn, we can't do nothing. We can drink wine. We can have fun. We can, but it's now it's more narrow now, and it's more things prohibited because of the poison has grown in this world. There's more wickedness in this world. There's no more wicked men in this world. There's more wicked. There's more philosophies. There's more books written in this world that could be harmful to your mind. It says many books, there is no end. So it says broad is the way of destruction, man. So now that broad way has opened, people be like, well, hey, this looks fun. The broad way looks fun. And they laugh at the men that's going through that one narrow path one at a time. They be like, man, they seem and that's eating the word and it's bitter in the stomach. Like, damn, what's wrong with them? Because we know Most High is opening our eyes to see how bitter this world is and shit. There's people getting tortured and used for sacrifice and blood sacrifice and heavy witchcraft and heavy sodomy and heavy pedophilia and heavy and all these abominations and these things going on the earth. And I don't care if it's on the other side of town or other side of the world, which people even in America say, well, that's not dealing with America, so we cool. But shit, that shit affects what's over here. Anything that happens over on the other side affects over here. Shit, if Israel goes to war, which is the case now, it's gonna affect America. I don't see why they think this America is just solo dolo, and that they got their own, like they ain't connected and allied with these, some of these countries, man. That it will affect, home here, which is not our home, but to American citizens, this is their home. You know, nah, man. So now, we're more circumspect than ever because now everything has become poison. Everything's tainted. You know. So now Eve has gotten to the point when you remember it said in the scriptures that uh, the seed in Adam, the seed of wickedness grown in Adam's heart, and how much such into this time that is now is real wicked. Well, Eve, learning the philosophy of the devil, now she knows how to seduce. So now I will say that now she does seduce, just like Jezebel. Some people kind of like when you're young, they kind of give you a pass because of a certain kind of innocence they feel about you. Well, it's not so innocent now, and really, if you want to be honest, like the truth, I mean, the scriptures say, it says, "Whoever perished being innocent," meaning they've been here before. They you come back, but by in the eyes of men, you might get a pass because they see you as a young person or a child or a young person. They be like, yeah, they young, you know, they'll grow out of it, they'll grow up. But now it's becoming so poisonous, tainted in the world. You gotta watch, supervise the young like every second of the day. That's why the men that watch over your souls, that has concern about the elect and the Most High's men, his people, his children that want to return back to him, they on their beat times. Example of the apostles saying, "Hey, do a video a day," because that's how detrimental it is that you could taste of this plant or this philosophy or this book, and you could die. You could spiritually die, and even some cases physically. You know, they might have these. They might have a site out there just how to commit suicide or best way to commit suicide or how to commit. They got a damn show called How to Get Away with Murder, and this damn Viola Davis, she's the one of the prime actors in there. They got all kind of Netflix movies talking about um, the serial killer and how he got away with it. Or these damn celebrities that our people follow that say, look, this is how I did it. I signed a contract. They don't say they signed a contract with the devil. They just said I signed a contract. And then next thing you know, you find out that it broke and they crying out and saying, damn, you know, I sold my soul to the devil. If you would have followed that idol, that celebrity, whatever, and idolized it, you would have went down that same road. And some have, many have, more than not. So there's very few elect that Most High has chosen not to go down that road to keep from being tainted in this world. That's how you know it talks about the elect when it says, "I called you out of the darkness into His marvelous light." It's talking about elect men. It's not talking about every Israelite. Because if that was the case, then these celebrities, they'd be returning back to the Most High right now. And we talked about the wine. Eve is sitting at the wine with the serpent eating at his table. And what he brings to her is the food of philosophies, dainties, it talks about in the scriptures. You want to put that in food form, Hey, you can relate it to fast food. You could, well, even some of the most delicious foods that seem to be good for you, he poison, or it's to lure you in to get you, you know, eating from the palm of his hand. He offered our people food stamps, and they went crazy. Like, man, we could, we could. I got 5, 6 bags of groceries. I'm feeding all my kids. Child support. I'm feeding up now. Now they have a little extra money, go shopping, buying heels and makeup, wigs and all that with the child support money. But it's supposed to be for the child. Really, you know, in a way, um, how they think about education and stuff like that, which some parents do that. They say, well, I'm using all this money for his college tuition. So he can graduate and he can get a car and do that, or she, whatever. But no, the ratchetness, and I'm not saying one is better than the other because all that philosophy and education is bullshit too in America. But I'm saying how Israel just falls for, they keep falling deeper and deeper into the game of the world, of the serpent, the philosophies of the serpent, what he spews out, even with the Roman um, method of you know Democrats and Republicans, the modern day Roman, which they did practice that back then with the plebeians and patricians, and our people eat of that fruit and eat at that table, you know. So what did Yahawashi? Why was he born? Well, prophets say he's the spirit of prophecy, but he came and he was the um, second Adam, so that so what he could reverse what happened to us back to the Most High. How is he doing that? He's strengthening us through the spiritual reform, spiritual rebirth. That's why we're not listening to the woman no more. That's why we're listening to wisdom on the right hand side and not the left. Now the Most High has said, hey, you can return back to this garden, but you're going to have to go by these standards, these rules. I'm going to establish you like this. And he established it through the spiritual tabernacle of David that had to be shown in the physical first. That's like everything else. Adam had to be fallen in the physical first before Yahawashi came. Even though Yahawashi was in the physical, with his mental and his capacity of his spirit, it was on a high spiritual level. That's why he was telling them that ye are gods. I have said ye are gods. And he said you got to be reborn again, born again, which Nebuchadnezzar, I mean not Nebuchadnezzar, but Nicodemus asked him, can a man be born, go through his through his mother's womb twice? But it was the rebirth of the way you do things, your mind state, your spirit that we lost and was disconnected with when we disobeyed the Most High. And how we get back there by doing it how we left off, by following his commandments. And then once we get into the kingdom, we ain't going to have to be, we're going to be perfect. We're not going to have to struggle with doing his commandments. We're not going to have to try to get right. We're going to be right. And that's another thing to let you know we're not in a new covenant. If we were, we'd be in heaven. I mean, we'd be established as a kingdom with no sin. But this is the Satan still coming at us, trying to keep us in that fallen position and trying to still use the woman, his old tactics. And he might try to use Kamala Harris. We don't think so, but if it did go that way, we're not ignorant of his devices. We're not, we know this is an old tactic. and he still uses that even through our women at home, our women in the neighborhoods. He uses the woman still. Church, school. Mostly the women will be saying go to school. The man is just like, yeah, I'm a repairman. I work at this. He don't be like pushing educate that kind of education on his son. I mean, what he teaches his son is, hey, about these women, son. You know, even when he gets older, yeah, man, your mother had it out, and I didn't stay with you, and we got all into this war situation about child support and child custody, and apologize for that, son, but I'm here now for you. It's about the woman. So now we're not hearkening to the woman because that's how we fell in the first place. So when you have a situation to where and you're discerning, you're exercising your mind to discern good and evil. Well, at least if you're dealing with the Holy Spirit, at least you can discern that, and not only that, but you can discern the the evil philosophies and even the evil woman, and especially the evil man, which is Esau, the oppressor over you, that laid out the basically everything, you know, uh, at your convenience, you know, to see if you to make you fall again or keep you in a failed position. But Yahweh said, "I will stretch my hand toward you, Jacob. I will help thee, and I will rebuild you. I will make you more fine than gold. I will make you a better man, and I will bring you into my tabernacle, my sanctuary." And that's what he's doing and has done. Shalom.